Good morning. My name is Jessica Samoresti. I am the director at Little Samaritan Montessori Center. Today, we're going to talk briefly about understanding the needs of exceptional children. In my infant toddler classroom, I have a student that we'll call Everly. Everly has been with us just a short time, about 2 months. Everly was evaluated recently and identified as neurodivergent. That term, neurodivergent, is used to describe children whose brains differences affect how their brain works. So this means they might have different strengths and challenges compared to children whose brains do not have these differences. These differences including learning disabilities, communication, social preferences, ways of learning, how they look at the environment, medical disorders, or any other developmental conditions. In early learning environments, neurodivergence can appear to us in a lot of different ways, like difficulty focusing, challenging transitions, or even just needing some additional support to stay engaged in an activity that we're doing in the classroom. In Everly's case, I noticed that she sometimes struggles to maintain focus throughout the day, and she really has difficulty transitioning from one activity to another. So these behaviors are seen in how she processes information, how she responds to stimulation. So that's like loud noises or excitement in the classroom. So a daily routine we use in our classroom is the transition from playtime to cleaning up. And we do that frequently throughout the day before we move to the next day activity. During this routine, for the whole class, we use a visual timer. I also give verbal reminders. So that looks like, hey, we have 1 minute left. Hey, we have 30 seconds and we're going to clean up, those kinds of things. So we also sometimes sing a cleanup song, when that's when the children begin putting their work back on the shelf. And during this time, the classroom is a little chaotic. It's pretty loud. It's always more active. The children are moving around a lot. They're moving their focus to what we're going to do next. It's just a busy, busy time. For a child like Everly, the transitions are challenging because they require stopping an activity, changing her mindset from what she was doing to what she will be doing, and then trying to figure out what the new expectation is. So neurodivergent children might need some additional time to help prepare themselves for these changes. And that's not even mentioning the noise and the moving bodies during cleanup that might make it harder. So Everly, we need to help her focus on the routine. And to help support Everly, we plan on using a visual timer, which we're already doing for the whole group, but we're going to put one right near Everly so she can see how much time is left before cleanup begins. We're also going to provide verbal reminders, as we're already doing, but we're going to walk over to Everly and we're going to touch her shoulder and we're going to say, hey, Everly, we have 2 minutes. We're going to start preparing her a little bit sooner than the other children. This helps her break focus a little bit better and prepare her for the upcoming transitions. So an experience we recently offered in the classroom was a fine motor activity where the children practiced threading yarn through a calendar, through the little holes of a calendar. The children worked independently by themselves at a table, and they were seated and focused and quiet as they, carefully pushed that little yarn through the openings, the holes in the calendar. For Everly, classroom activities like that require a focused attention and fine motor skills that can be challenging. She could become frustrated if the yarn is difficult to manipulate with her fingers, or even have trouble staying in her seat. So to support Everly and her success, we are going to adapt the lesson by offering pipe cleaners instead of yarn. They're a little bit firmer and easier to push through. And then we're also going to let Everly have some flexibility, and she could stand up maybe and work. She could step away and come back. We're just wanting to help her out. So let's take a minute to reflect on Everly's needs. It's important that we're providing supports that help her understand the expectations, and we want her to feel successful. When we use strategies like visual timers, verbal reminders, gentle touches, we're going to prepare her for the transition and reduce her frustrations. When we adapt our lessons, like when we did pipe cleaners instead of a yarn, this is going to help ensure that the activity is still developmentally appropriate and something that is accessible to her. Finally, when we're providing breaks and flexibility on our part, we're allowing Everly to move her body and give her the opportunity to step away, and that supports Everly's ability to regulate her attention and refocus. Taking time to reflect on Everly's experiences definitely helps me better understand how to adjust my teaching so that our classroom environment supports all learners. And it also helps create an environment where Everly participates and feels confident, supported, and capable. Thank you.